Hi, it's Elaine from Inspired by My Angel CLM. Thank you for joining today. Today I'm going to be making a grapevine wreath and doing it a little bit differently. I've already gone ahead and made my bow. I've attached a piece of floral foam that I'm going to be creating, if you would, a centerpiece on the foam on top of our grapevine wreath. I did one of these before and I loved the way it came out, so I thought I would try another one and bring you along with me. So let me introduce myself real quickly before we get started. As I said earlier, my name is Elaine. I'm owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel CLM, where I make wreaths for every season, holiday, and occasion. The purpose of this video, me doing videos, is to give you the perspective from someone who has just begun their journey into the art of wreath making. And I have just begun in September of 2020. I am enrolled in 2 design classes online and learning a tremendous amount. And at first began watching YouTube videos and found many people who were willing to share that. So I just felt as though they were very experienced. I just thought, well, maybe it would be interesting to follow along with someone who's just beginning. So that's me. So we'll get started. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to be using 3 focal flowers today, and these are my focal flowers. These clematis. I've got various greeneries. I've got a few that are kind of spiky with a fern. I've got this fern. This I'll be using. I've already gone ahead and cut it up. I've got a few berries and filler flowers, along with these almost like a thistle, kind of spiky berry, and I'll be using that. We'll be hot gluing everything in. I'll be applying Spanish moss as needed to cover any glue or whatever we have. So I'll get started right away. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I hope that you enjoy this with me. So the first thing I want to do is establish some height to my design. Get the perimeter of where I am designing. So I had gone ahead and cut these greenery pieces. I've got some long that I'll put on the bottom. But first, to begin with, I'm going to start on the top. And I want to come up about 3/4 of the way on our wreath. And like I said, I'm going to be inserting into our floral foam. So this is a good spot here. So I'm just going to dip this in my glue and insert right here. Okay. Now the next thing I would like to do is come to the opposite side on the top, and we'll get another piece of greenery in. This is so pretty. It's very shaded. It has a little bit. That's what had me choose this ribbon, was the colors in the clematis and the coloring in this leaf, this kind of a chartreuse, if you would, green. So anyway, I'm going to place my second piece of greenery over here. And now I need to put something on the bottom, come opposite that. So I want to place something in the, we've got 2 there, so I want to come to the center. I've got a couple of longer pieces I'll put to the outside, but I'm going to use this one here in the center. So I'm just going to lift my bow up and insert that right under my ribbon tails. I did try to make some adjustments with my positioning of my camera and the light, and I hope that has improved it, everyone to be able to see a little better. As I said, I'm new to this and very new at trying to create a video. Okay. So now I want to get these longer pieces. I want that to trail down. So again, I'm going to come over here to the right hand side, apply some glue to my stem, and insert this into my flow foam. And just bending it, trying to give it some shape. Okay, that looks nice there. Now I'll come to the opposite side. I'll try it on for size first. Make sure the length is okay, which I believe that is. That looks good. We've got some fullness here in the center. So I'm going to go ahead. And what I'm dipping my stems in is a skillet, a kitchen skillet, an electric skillet that you would fry your food in. They were very popular years ago. And you just take your glue sticks that you would use in your glue gun and place them in, and it melts. And it's just easier, and you can control the temperature on your glue pan. Less likely to burn yourself using the skillet. And you can just get it, I think I got mine on Amazon, Walmart, any place that carries small kitchen appliances. Okay, so I want you to be able to see that. We've just inserted and gotten some length. Because like I said, I don't want to go above. I want my grapevine to show on the top. Okay, so we've got some greenery in there. Now I think I've placed my focal flowers. And this has a little additional greenery on it. So I think I'm going to come to this side. Inserting into my foam. Letting that greenery, and there's like a small bud, creating a little bit of interest. Bend that greenery over a little if it's too close. So we've got our first greenery focal flower inserted. Okay. Now, one thing I have learned with the with your florals is you want to keep them separate. They should each have their own area to sit in. So now I want this other one, but I want to make sure they don't touch. I want them to each have their own space. So I'm going to come off a little bit to the right and place that one. Like I said, we're only going to be using 3 florals in this arrangement. Okay, and I want them each to have their own space. So you can see we've left a space in between them, and I did get a little glue that was pooling up on my floral foam. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Spanish moss, if you can see that here, and I'm just going to apply that while the glue is warm right to where my glue is. Okay, can you see that okay? So we've got 1 and 1. Now I need to come down and place one at the bottom. Plus I keep crushing my bow every time I insert a floral. So I had that shorter piece of greenery here in the center. So I think my third focal I want to put right in that area. So we'll be forming a triangle. That's another thing I have learned in my design school classes, is to work in a triangular pattern to keep the eye moving throughout your design is the reason for doing that. Again, I've got a little bit of glue that I can see, so I'm just going to go in and hit it with some of my Spanish moss. And this is a design I didn't learn this one in my class. I was watching another designer online, and she shared this design, and it's a good way to get some wreaths into your Etsy shop without it being a lot of expense, because you don't need as much product when we're working on the foam like we're doing today. And you'll see what a nice full look that we'll have, and that someone would be proud to have on their door. Okay, so now we have our 3 focals. Okay, we've got the one here, here, and here. And they've all got their own space. Now we'll go ahead and we'll fill in. So I'm thinking I'd like to have this piece of greenery just coming out the center here. So that'll give us that we've placed 3 pieces on the bottom and 3 on the top. And you can already see how nice and full this has gotten, and we have not used that much product. So therefore we would not need to, by not using a lot of product, we'd be able to keep our costs down, but in turn, we'll be able to price this more reasonably in our Etsy shop so that the customer can get a beautiful wreath without perhaps spending $165 to $200. We would be able to price this for that customer who is more on a budget. And that's what I want to be able to do, is to offer various pricing, because everyone deserves to have a beautiful wreath, and everyone can't afford to spend a lot. So that's my reason for doing this design, to get a few more wreaths in my Etsy shop that I can price that will be affordable for everyone, not singling out anyone in particular. So that's the goal for me making this wreath today. Okay, now I've got these other additional pieces of greenery that I just want to go in just to introduce another texture. So I'm going to take this one, I'm going to place it at the top. And it's okay if that goes a little above the perimeter that we've established. It's just acting as a filler, and we can bend that. I encourage you to bend it. It just makes it more realistic looking. Of course, you'll get glue strings as you insert your stems. We'll just pull those off, drop them back in the skillet, and they'll melt back down again. Okay, I've got another one here. This one's a little larger. I'm wondering if maybe we should put it right behind. Yeah, I think behind this one that we have going up a little, so it's not so perfect. Matchy match. So I'm going to come right behind that first floral that we put in, and then place this greenery there. There's a little piece of fern on there, so it's introducing another texture. Making sure that we don't place them flat. We want to have dimension. So can you see that? Just put that up here. So this side seems a little bit higher, but not a lot. Again, it just creates a little bit of interest. And I'll put a little bit of moss. I see a little pooling of my glue. This is just helping to cover that styrofoam base that we're using as well. So we've placed two at the top, so let's come down to the bottom. We're pretty full here in the center. So I think I want to introduce some going out here to the side a little bit. Right in this area, but it going facing down. Oops. There we go. I'm just giving it a little lift. So like I said, I don't want it flat. I want it to come away from the wreath. So again, just adding another little more texture. Because we put one there, we'll come to the opposite side and we'll place one. Actually, and I have a small piece of fern I'm going to add with it, place them in together, staggering their heights. And I'm going to come over here, a little off to the side, and insert that into my floral foam. You can see that it's just a little bit of fern. Just going to give that a bend. It's just adding another texture. And you can see how full this is looking, and we really haven't had to put a lot into it. Okay. Make sure I keep those separated. Okay, I've got a few of these little florals here that has some berries. So I'm going to insert these together, and I'm going to come right here in the center. Letting those peek out. I'll have the berries. Bent that one too much. Having that berry just cascade a little to the side. And we've got these peeking through. Okay, I think I'd like to put another bunch right over here. So that's 2 of the fillers, 3 greenery, 2 florals, 2 other greenery, and 2 of our filler. Okay, and I'm just going to give that a bend. Have that peeking out from over here. Make sure we have our leaves going in the right direction. It's coming from inside, so it's creating the illusion of depth. It's drawing your eye into the center. Adding lots of contrast. Bring that a little bit closer so you can see it. You can see how that'll move with the wind when this is placed on someone's drawer. Okay, I want to bring a little bit of that floral right here to the bottom. So that's all we're doing, is placing 3 filler florals, enabling us to keep our cost down. And as you can see, it's not taking very long to accomplish this either. A few of those berries, get it mixed in. Just bending it. Okay. So you can see we just placed that there. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And that's all we're going to use on that. And then I had this bush of this like thistle, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So that's the last thing that we need to place in our design. And this is just going to add another shade, the lavender, the reason I chose this lavender bow. And we're just going to see what's pleasing to the eye. I just got a little bit of glue on one of my leaves, but don't let that alarm you, because let it dry and we can just peel that right off. Okay, so there we go. We've got one there. So because I placed one there, I want to bring one opposite on the bottom. Kind of working back and forth. So I'm going to place this one over here. Remember, we have 6, so we'll have 3 on top and 3 on the bottom. A little deeper, get a good contact with our floral foam, and I'm just applying a little bit of our Spanish moss, giving that a bend. So that's pretty coming out there. So we've got 1, 2, let's create a triangle, and I'll put another one coming out here sideways. Cut this a little bit shorter. Give it a bend. And I think coming right out this way is nice. Kind of out of the side of our foam here. On an angle. Making sure I get good contact with the foam. And so now we have 1, 2, and 3. We'll do the same thing again. We've got 3 more to place. Okay, let's introduce a little over here. moss on that. And when we're all done, we'll go back in and fluff our bow. Okay, so we put one there. Let's bring another one over here. A little shorter. Want to keep the greenery to the back. So there we go. You can see we're repeating. We've got 1, 2, and 3, or we've got 1, 2, and 3. Like it's just repeating triangles throughout the design. Okay, my last one. I think I'd like to come up and off to this side. Giving it its own space. We've got separation with our greenery so we don't have the flowers touching each other. Just bend this one a little bit. There. So we've got this one coming off. That's it. This is such a simple design and doesn't use a lot of product. I absolutely love doing this design. I'm going to show you from the side. Let me just fluff my bow a little bit. So we've got our colors dispersed. You can see we've got a little purple. We've got that chartreuse green peeking out. Our lavender that picks up on the colors of our thistle, if that's what that is. On this side, we've got 2 loops of our purple. That chartreuse. Again, our lavender. We've got a little bit of greenery coming right out here through the center of the bow. So the bow is incorporated in the design. It doesn't look like it was just plopped on there. And we've got our other focal flower down here at the bottom, separating our tails. So again, on one side, we've got our purple, and that's where that glue got on there. I need to let that dry just a little bit more to be able to get that off. Just run your fingers over the ribbon, just to give them a little movement. Do the same thing on this side. Just running my fingers over them. Getting the various colors coming through. And we've got our third focal coming out down here in the bottom. You see that? We've got that right here. Okay, look at it from the side. It's plenty full. From the top, let's check this side. Very full. Underneath, you can see you can still see the foam. I'll go back in and I will place some Spanish moss so that none of that will show. You can see we've got plenty down here at the bottom. And there you have it. I had already gone ahead and attached my hanger. So there's a beautiful spring summer wreath for someone's door, and I will be able to price this very affordable in my Etsy shop. If this is something that you're interested in, within the next couple of days, I will have this listed. I need to just finish up with my moss. I'll take some pictures, and this will be available in my Etsy shop, Inspired by My Angel, CLM. Also, I'd just like to take a moment to ask you if you wouldn't mind on this channel, YouTube, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't cost you anything. What it does do is it just gives you a notification when I do another video, and that if you'd like to come along on the journey and watch, that's what subscribing will do. Like and share. That'll help my business grow. I am a new business, just began in October, opening my Etsy shop, so I would greatly appreciate that. Visit my shop. I have close to 100 items in my shop. Mesh wreaths, grapevine. I have some arrangements in my shop as well. I've also made some very pretty bows that if you were interested in just buying a bow to add to an existing wreath that you already have, or attach it to your outside lantern next to your door. There's a little something for everyone. So please take the time and check that out. It's Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And thank you so much for coming on this journey with me today. You have a wonderful day. Until the next video, I'll say goodbye.